Hello there, you're watching Nightline with me, Raymond. Go. The top stories. PM releases proof of Felda debt waiver. And MACC to summon Sanusi over rare earth mining theft probe. Good morning. Sri Anwar Ibrahim on Thursday provided proof that he signed a debt waiver scheme for Felda settlers. The Prime Minister provided two documents, a government guarantee issued to Felda and a 990 million ringgit payment instruction from the government to the authority. In a media statement, Sri Anwar said that he was presenting a portion of the assignment for Financial Service Reserve Account FSRA document related to the government's guarantee to Felda, which he signed. The Prime Minister also included a document on payment instructions by the Malaysian government related to Felda Sukuk. Also included were 3 sheets related to FSRA signed on 26 June by Sri Anwar on behalf of the government, with then Felda Chairman Tan Sri Idris Juso and Felda Director General Dato Amiruddin Abdul Sattar. The statement came after Perikatan Nasional Chairman Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin submitted a letter of demand to Sri Anwar regarding the statements related to the settlement of Felda settlers' debts, in addition to demanding an open apology from the Prime Minister. The Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, MACC, has recorded statements from 12 people over a corruption case involving 13 million ringgit in bribes in connection to the theft of rare earth elements, or REE, in Sik, Kedah. It is expected that more individuals will be summoned by the graft busters soon to have their statements recorded, including caretaker Kedah Menteri Besar Dato Sri Muhammad Sanusi Matno. MACC Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azam Baki said all those summoned so far were from the Kedah Menteri Besar Incorporated, MBI, and a private company allegedly involved in illegal REE mining activities. He stated that the MACC was also tracking down several other individuals, including Chinese nationals who were believed to have invested in the REE mining project. Tan Sri Azam pointed out that the MACC also wanted to verify matters concerning the REE mining and its procedures, as there was a viral letter linking Dato Sri Sanusi to the matter.
Yang itu pun kita nak tengok tentang tentang kebenaran surat tu, sebab ini keluar dalam internet ya. Jadi bila kita menyiasat ni, kami bukan terus nak pergi terjah sana sini. Kita kena buat pengesahan sana sini dan akan memanggil mana-mana saksi yang berkenaan. Beliau juga akan dipanggil, saya tidak nafikan, kerana surat itu ditandatangani oleh beliau.
However, Tan Sri Azam said the MACC has yet to set a date to record Dato Sri Sanusi's statement, adding that he would leave it to the investigating officers. On Wednesday, it was reported that a chief executive officer of a state MBI and a female company director were remanded to assist investigations into the alleged corruption case. A source in the MACC said the company allegedly conducted mining activities illegally and had been protected by certain authorities since 2020. Meanwhile, when asked to respond to Tan Sri Azam's statement, Dato Sri Sanusi said he will give full cooperation to the MACC in its probe into the alleged REE theft in Kedah. In a text reply to the New Straits Times on Thursday, the caretaker Kedah Menteri Besar stated that he was ready to provide assistance to any investigation by law enforcement agencies at any time as required. Now, Dato Sri Saifuddin Nasution Ismail has dismissed Dato Sri Sanusi's claims that there is a political plot to smear his reputation. The Home Minister said that the disclosure on the REE theft in Kedah was not intended to tarnish the caretaker Menteri Besar's image, but rather to show that there is an issue of administrative malpractice.
Benda tu dia sebahagian daripada isu pentadbiran dan isu governance. Dia tak ada plot apa tu. Nah, plot dia adalah kita tanya pasal apa buat masuk tenaga kerja pada China untuk kemudiannya terlibat dengan isu bawa keluar nadi bumi cara tidak mengikut peraturan.
Dato Sri Saifuddin also said his disclosure on the REE theft issue was just the tip of the iceberg, adding that he would be revealing more soon. On Wednesday, Dato Sri Sanusi claimed that the probes into the state MBI was part of the bigger plot to smear his reputation ahead of the state election. Malaysia aims to develop a stronger and strategic partnership with Vietnam. The importance of this bilateral cooperation was highlighted through the signing and exchange of the agreed minutes of the 7th Joint Commission meeting on Economic, Scientific and Technology Cooperation JCM7 between both countries, which was witnessed by Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim and his Vietnamese counterpart Pham Minh Chinh in Hanoi on Thursday. The JCM is a bilateral mechanism for Malaysia and Vietnam to discuss matters of mutual interest at the foreign ministers' level. Foreign Minister Datuk Sri Zamri Abdul Kadir signed the JCM documents for Malaysia, while Vietnam was represented by his counterpart Buletin. The meeting was held on the sideline of Datuk Sri Anwar's two-day official visit to Vietnam from Thursday, on the invitation of Chin. Earlier, the special aircraft carrying Datuk Sri Anwar and his wife, Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail, landed at the Noi Bai International Airport at 1 p.m. local time. They were greeted by Vietnam's Culture, Sports and Tourism Minister Nguyen Van Hung and Datuk Sri Zamri, as well as several senior officials from both countries. Datuk Sri Anwar was then accorded an official welcome by Chin at the Presidential Palace in Hanoi. The national anthems of both countries were then played by the military band before Datuk Sri Anwar, accompanied by Chin, inspected the Guard of Honour. Datuk Sri Anwar was then introduced to the members of Chin's cabinet before proceeding to the government office for a bilateral meeting. After the bilateral meeting, both leaders witnessed the signing of the Memorandum of Cooperation between the National Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Malaysia and the Vietnam Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Datuk Sri Anwar's first-day visit was wrapped up with an official dinner hosted by Chin at the government office. Vietnam is the 8th ASEAN member country visited by Datuk Sri Anwar since he was appointed as Prime Minister in November last year. Meanwhile, at the official dinner hosted by Chin, Datuk Sri Anwar said he considered Vietnam as a very close friend of Malaysia, since the diplomatic relationship between the two countries was established 5 decades ago. The Prime Minister added both nations had established excellent bilateral relations, and Malaysia is ready to elevate the ties further.
Because of the resilience of the leadership and the people, you have been enormously successful in a few decades, established Vietnam as a very an important country in ASEAN, and have not only survived the calamities, but now has been able to register as one of the most promising developing countries in the world.
Datuk Sri Anwar also expressed his admiration for Vietnam and its people, who had struggled to recover from the hardships experienced during their fight against colonials. Internet service provider Starlink will make its services available at schools and higher education institutions, IPT, first. According to Communications and Digital Minister Fahmi Fadzil, this is in line with a recent announcement made by Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim. In a posting on Facebook on Wednesday, Fahmi stated that he had presented a network facility and service provider license to Starlink, allowing them to provide satellite internet services in Malaysia, especially in remote areas. Fahmi also said the government is ready to cooperate with satellite internet service providers, including Starlink, to achieve 100% internet coverage in populated areas. Currently, 97% of populated areas in Malaysia have internet access, while the remaining 3% face challenges due to geographical issues such as remote and isolated areas, which pose difficulties in network infrastructure development. On July 15th, Datuk Sri Anwar said the government plans to install 40 satellite internet devices from Starlink at higher education institutions around the country to help students who are unable to study due to unreliable internet connectivity. The decision was made during his virtual meeting with SpaceX Chief Executive Officer Elon Musk recently. The Inspector General of Police, IGP, said the credibility, efficiency and skills of police officers should be enhanced to ensure the quality of crime prevention and crime suppression is at the highest level. According to Tan Sri Razaruddin Hussain, this was because the community's observation and evaluation of the force revolved around the ability of police in preventing and investigating crimes, arresting and charging criminals, as well as enforcing the law wisely. In this regard, the IGP said the Royal Malaysia Police would not hesitate to take firm action against any officers and men who got bogged down in bureaucracy and practiced favouritism when investigating cases.
Kualiti maklumat risikan jenayah menentukan hasil operasi dan seterusnya yang paling utama adalah untuk mendakwa penjenayah di mahkamah. Justru kita harus memperkasakan kredibiliti, kecekapan dan kemahiran pegawai-pegawai kita bagi memastikan kualiti crime prevention dan crime suppression adalah pada tahap yang sangat tinggi.
He said this in a speech at the IGP July 2023 monthly assembly organised by the Criminal Investigation Department in Bukit Aman in the federal capital. Tan Sri Razaruddin stressed that the two key areas of focus needed to be given comprehensive attention and aggressive implementation and monitoring at all levels of policing to ensure police continue to enjoy the trust of society. The first focus is service based on integrity and good governance, and the second focus is to uphold government policies towards the well-being of society. On another note, the country's top cop wants all police personnel and officers carrying out their duties during the coming state elections to be professional and rational while in the field.
Dalam kita melaksanakan tugas yang diamanahkan, kesihatan dan keselamatan diri juga perlu diberi keutamaan. Pucuk pimpinan pasukan akan berusaha untuk memastikan kebajikan para petugas PDRM sepanjang PRN ini kekal terjaga insyaAllah. Para petugas juga diingatkan agar sentiasa bersikap profesional dan rasional ketika menjalankan tugas di lapangan, serta bijak mengawal emosi ketika berhadapan dengan sebarang insiden provokasi.
A total of 9,602 additional police officers and personnel will be deployed to assist in state elections on August 12th in Selangor, Pulau Pinang, Negeri Sembilan, Kedah, Kelantan and Terengganu. The Health Ministry MOH will recommend to the Election Commission EC to adopt existing COVID-19 prevention standard operating procedures SOP in the 6 state elections and Kuala Terengganu parliamentary by-election to be held next month. Its Minister Dr. Zaliha Mustafa said the ministry will also hold discussions with relevant agencies and departments, including the EC, if the SOP for preventing COVID-19 transmission needs to be improved or revised based on current situation.
Setakat ini, kalau kita ikut kepada trend daripada kes-kes yang kita terima, kita ambil maklum dan tetapinya SOP yang kita lakukan ialah apa yang sedia ada. Ya? Tetapi saya rasa PRN kita akan juga membincangkan jika ada ataupun jika perlu kita melakukan measures yang lebih yang berbeza daripada SOP biasa.
Dr. Zaliha said this to the media after launching her ministry-level National Month and the 2023 Fly the Jalur Gemilang program in Putrajaya on Thursday. According to the minister, among the existing SOPs for the COVID-19 prevention as applied in the 15th general election, GE15, last November, is that individuals who are positive are allowed to vote subject to certain SOP. The EC has fixed for state elections in Kedah, Kelantan, Terengganu, Pulau Pinang, Selangor and Negeri Sembilan, as well as the Kuala Terengganu parliamentary seat by-election to be held simultaneously, with August 12th set as polling day, while July 29th as nomination day and August 8th for early voting. Thai political turmoil enters new chapter. Stay tuned to Nightline. We're back with news from the foreign front. One of Pheu Thai's 3 prime ministerial candidates, Srettha Thavisin, suggested on Thursday that pulling out of the 8-party coalition led by the Move Forward Party could be inevitable. He, however, said representatives from the 8 coalition partners would soon discuss their next joint move. Thailand's parliament will hold another vote for a prime minister next week, which cannot include the leader of election winners Move Forward Party, Pita Limjaroenrat, after his nomination was blocked. According to the deputy speaker, a candidate can only be nominated once in each parliamentary session. Parliament's move to deny Pita triggered angry street protests. The move has also called for activists to plan more gatherings, urging demonstrators to wear black to protest the constitution created by the military that makes it extremely difficult for parties that win elections to form governments. British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak faces voters in very different parliamentary seats on Thursday and risks losing all 3 contests in what would be the worst one-day midterm result for any British governing party in more than half a century. The votes are one of the few remaining opportunities to gauge public support before a national election is expected next year, and a chance to assess if the opposition Labour Party can convert their run of double-digit poll leads into victories. The results of the so-called by-elections are expected to come in the early hours of Friday. If Sunak loses all 3 votes, it would suggest his party was in danger of losing power at the next election as members of the public expressed their frustrations over stubbornly high inflation, rising taxes and economic stagnation. In India, at least 10 people were killed and many others were feared buried when a landslide hit a mountain village in the western state of Maharashtra on Thursday after incessant rain soaked the region. Rescue workers were battling with difficult terrain and bad weather as they searched for more than 100 people feared to be trapped under the debris. According to the authorities, an estimated 225 people lived in the mountain hamlet of Irshalwadi when the land collapsed in the middle of the night. More rain was expected late on Thursday, and a red alert had been issued for the coast of Maharashtra and Gujarat state to the north, which has also been battered by rain this week. Flash floods, landslides and accidents caused by heavy rain have killed over 100 people in India since the onset of the monsoon season on June 1st. sports, badminton, the 2023 Korea Open. National top women's pair Pearly Tan and M. Tina's campaign in Yosu came to an end after they suffered a second-round defeat to Chen Qingchen and Jia Yifan of China on Thursday. Playing against the world number one, Pearly and Tina went down fighting. The national duo lost the first set 17-21 before bouncing back to take the second set 21-17. The third set saw both pairs pushing their limits before Chen and Chia emerged victorious 21-19. Pearly and Tina had lost to the Chinese pair in all their previous 3 matches. Also sent packing for home were 2 national mixed doubles. Tan Kian Ming and Lai Pei Jing suffered a straight set 9-21, 7-21 defeat to second-seeded Dechapol Wawaranukro and Sapsiri Terettanacha of Thailand, while Go Soon Huat and Siobhan Lai bowed to Hiroki Midorikawa and Natsu Saito of Japan 17-21, 13-21 in the 32-minute clash. Also shown the exit was the national men's pair of Aaron Chia and So Wee Yik, facing Japan's Keiichiro Matsui and Yoshinori Taikuchi. The newly crowned national sportsmen took the first set 21-19. They, however, failed to keep the momentum, losing the next 2 sets 18-21, 19-21. Turning to tennis now, the 2023 Swiss Open. Second-seeded Miomir Kecmanovic of Serbia defeated local Swiss talent Dominik Stricker to reach the quarterfinals. Kecmanovic faced a tough battle in the opener before claiming a 7-6 win. The second set, however, was much easier as the Serbian cruised to a 6-1 victory, sealing a spot in the last 8. Meanwhile, in the 2023 Sweden Open, Lorenzo Musetti was dragged to a 3-set battle before marching through to the next round. The world number 16 defeated compatriot Matteo Amaldi 6-3, 4-6, 7-6 for a place in the quarters. He will next face Austrian Filip Mizolic. Coming up after the break, drugs worth more than 4 million ringgit seized. Stay tuned. Nightline continues. Police have crippled a local drug trafficking syndicate after seizing various types of drugs worth 4.3 million ringgit in 3 separate raids in Kluang, Johor. 4 local men aged between 22 and 30, including the syndicate's mastermind, were also arrested in the special operation conducted on Monday. State Police Chief Dato' Kamarul Zaman Mamat on Thursday said the syndicate, believed to have been active since April, used a rented double-story terrace house to store drugs. The suspects then repackaged the drugs into packs of drinks, such as juice and tea, to avoid detection by authorities before distributing them in the local market. It was also believed that the syndicate targeted entertainment centres and nightclubs to sell the drugs for as low as 150 ringgit per pack. The drug seizure comprised 54.3 kilograms of ecstasy powder, nearly 8,000 Aramin 5 pills, over 6,500 ecstasy pills, 1.2 kilograms of ketamine, and 346 grams of cannabis. Also seized were 6 vehicles worth 432,000 ringgit, jewellery worth over 12,000 ringgit, and 11,000 ringgit cash. All the suspects have been remanded for a week from Tuesday to facilitate investigations under the Dangerous Drugs Act. In Selangor, the Customs Department has intercepted 4 containers filled with more than 4 million illicit cigarettes and alcohol destined for Australia. The discovery was made between May and June at Port Klang. Customs Department Central Zone Enforcement Director Wong Poon Sian said the containers originated from a neighbouring country. 3 of the 4 containers seized were mostly loaded with 4.1 million cigarette sticks worth 300,000 ringgit, with unpaid duties amounting to at least 2.74 million ringgit at the West Port. The 4th container had more than 21,000 litres of alcohol, valued at over 87,000 ringgit, with unpaid taxes amounting to more than 750,000 ringgit at the North Port. A representative of the delivery company was among 4 individuals called in to help in the probe into the cases. The cases are being investigated under the Customs Act 1967. Efforts are underway to locate at least 9 crew members of cargo ship MV Tung Sung, which capsized near Pulau Burung in the waters of Sebuyau, Sarawak on Thursday. State Maritime Director First Admiral Maritime Zin Asman Mat Yunus said that his department received a report of the incident at around 9:40 a.m. In a statement on Tuesday, he said its KM Kota Kinabalu patrol boat is in the area to conduct a search and rescue SAR operation assisted by the Police Air Operations Force. So far, no victims have been found. Based on preliminary information, the cargo ship was carrying 4 Malaysian crew members, 4 crew members from Myanmar, and 1 crew member from Indonesia. It was believed that the cargo ship was en route to Kuching from Riau when it capsized. In the West Bank city of Nablus, famous for its traditional sweets like kunafe, a married couple embarks on an entrepreneurial journey, hoping to make the famous Arab treats healthier and more accessible. Let's take a look as we wrap up Nightline this time around. With that, I'm Raymond Goh. Thank you for your company and stay safe. Take care.